Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to NPR, President Donald Trump has escalated his rhetoric against Iran, declaring on social media that the United States will hit the country very hard tonight. He also threatened that the U.S. would assume total control of Iran's vital oil and gas industries, including the strategic Karg Island in the near future. The threats follow a second consecutive day of intensive retaliatory strikes between U.S. and Iranian forces, significantly increasing the risk of a full-scale regional war. While Iran reportedly targeted regional countries hosting U.S. military bases, the U.S. continued to enforce a maritime blockade, recently disabling an oil tanker. Meanwhile, crucial ceasefire negotiations remain gridlocked. The U.S. is demanding that Iran relinquish its highly enriched uranium stockpile, while Tehran demands sanctions relief, the release of frozen assets, and an end to Israeli military actions in Lebanon. Additionally, shipping through the critical Strait of Hormuz remains severely disrupted, impacting global energy markets and driving up prices worldwide. Al Jazeera reports that British Defense Secretary John Healey has resigned over a dispute regarding military spending, delivering a significant blow to Prime Minister Keir Starmer's struggling government. In his resignation letter, Healey accused Starmer and the Treasury of failing to commit the necessary resources to defend the nation during a period of escalating global threats. Healey noted that the newly proposed financial settlement, which raises defense spending to only 2.68% of GDP by 2030, falls far short of the crucial 3% threshold he deemed essential. Without adequate funding, Healey warned he would be forced to make decisions that reduce military readiness and increase risks to personnel. This departure marks the sixth ministerial resignation in the past month for Starmer's administration, whose popularity has significantly declined just 2 years after a landslide election victory. The ongoing political instability is further compounded by delays to the country's defense investment plan and separate controversies involving other government appointments. According to GG Press, the European Central Bank, ECB, decided during its regular policy meeting on June 11 to implement its first interest rate hike in approximately 2 years and 9 months, dating back to September 2023, to combat accelerating inflation triggered by rising crude oil prices in the wake of the military conflict between the United States and Iran. The ECB will raise its deposit facility rate, one of its key policy rates, by 0.25 percentage points to 2.25%. This decision marks the first rate hike by any of the major central banks in Japan, the U.S., or Europe since the deterioration of the Middle East situation in late February. In its statement, the ECB cautioned that economic prospects remain highly uncertain, pointing out upside risks to inflation and downside risks to economic growth. Although May's Eurozone Consumer Price Index rose 3.2% year-on-year, marking 4 straight months of accelerating growth due to high energy costs, Eurozone GDP fell by 0.2% in the first quarter of 2026, casting a shadow over the region's economic recovery. According to CNBC, Iranian state media outlet Fars reported that Iran plans to treat all of Elon Musk's companies in the Middle East, including SpaceX Starlink satellite internet service, as military targets. The report cites an informed source claiming the U.S. committed war crimes against Iran with the support of Musk-managed holdings, specifically threatening a regional Starlink ground station. This development coincides with escalating military tensions between the U.S. and Iran following a series of retaliatory airstrikes. President Donald Trump warned on social media that the U.S. would strike Iran very hard and threatened to seize control of Karg Island, Iran's primary oil export hub. The threat follows the crash of a U.S. Army helicopter over the Strait of Hormuz on Monday, which Trump blamed on Iran. While Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has previously threatened other major U.S. tech firms like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Google, this latest warning directly targets Musk's regional economic entities. Neither SpaceX nor the White House immediately responded to requests for comment. Jinjoinet reports that U.S. producer prices experienced a significant increase in May, rising by 6.5%. This figure represents the largest annual jump recorded since November 2022. According to economic data, the primary driver behind this inflationary spike is the rising cost of energy. This development highlights the persistent challenges facing the U.S. economy as it grapples with inflationary pressures. The rise in producer prices is often viewed as a leading indicator of consumer inflation, suggesting that costs for businesses are continuing to climb, which may eventually impact the broader retail market and the purchasing power of consumers across the country. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.